The stars above Zytharian were usually calm, shining like quiet guardians over the lush green forests and sparkling crystal cities below. The Lurani had lived for centuries in peace. Their technology was advanced, yet they had never known war. They cultivated harmony, studied the universe, and nurtured their world like a living treasure. But that peace was about to shatter. On a quiet morning, high in the floating observation towers of Lurani City, Commander Lyra sensed something strange. Her antenna-like sensors, glowing faintly in the morning light, detected movement far beyond Zytharian's borders. The readings made her circuits hum with unease. "Commander Lyra," her assistant said, voice trembling. "There is a fleet approaching. It is large. Very large." Lyra's eyes widened. She had scanned the skies many times, but nothing like this had ever appeared. The sensors painted a terrifying picture. Hundreds of dark ships, moving faster than Zytharian's fastest communication satellites. Each ship radiated power unlike anything Lurani had built. The Council of Elders was summoned immediately. Lyra appeared before them, her movements precise and measured. "The fleet comes from the outer systems," she said. "Their energy signatures indicate war technology. They are not explorers. They are invaders." An elder, his translucent skin shimmering like the morning mist, asked quietly, "How strong are they, Commander?" "Stronger than we have ever faced. If they arrive in full force..." "Zytharian cannot stand alone," Lyra replied. The council fell silent. They had hoped, for centuries, that the universe was vast and kind. But reality was coming fast, and it was not kind. In desperation, the Lurani sent a message across the stars, a plea for help. "To anyone who can hear us, Zytharian faces destruction. We need heroes." They waited. Days passed. Anxiety grew. The Lurani had seen hints of other civilizations in distant systems, but help had never come before. And now, their survival depended on it. Then, one morning, the message returned, but not in a way they expected. A fleet appeared on the horizon, moving with precision and authority. At first, the Lurani thought it might be another alien race. Perhaps one smaller and peaceful, ready to assist. But as the fleet approached, the truth became clear. It was Earth. Not a single ship, not a small team, but a full-force human deployment. Starships glided through the sky with sleek metallic grace, weapons hummed softly as their shields glowed faintly. Massive orbiting stations adjusted in unison. Humans had arrived, not as diplomats, but as warriors, scientists, and explorers, fully prepared for the coming storm. The Lurani were stunned. Elder Sira whispered, "We asked for heroes, but they have sent an army." Commander Lyra observed the humans with careful sensors. Their technology was unlike anything she had seen. Ships that could vanish and reappear. Energy shields strong enough to repel the mightiest of forces. And machines that moved with intelligence and purpose. Humans did not rely on their natural abilities alone. They combined brains, courage, and machinery to face any danger. But even as awe filled the council chambers, there was unease. Humans were powerful. Yes. But would they be careful? Would they respect Zytharian? Or would their strength become a threat in itself? The first meeting between humans and Lurani took place on the plains outside Lurani City. Humans descended from their ships in armored suits that glimmered in the sun. Their leader, a tall figure named Captain Elias, stepped forward. His voice, though filtered through a translator, carried calm confidence. "We received your message," he said. "We will help you defend Zytharian. But we will not fight alone. We need to work together." The council exchanged nervous glances. Lurani were used to careful negotiation, not military orders. Yet, something in Elias's voice inspired trust. There was a strength in humans that went beyond weapons. They had courage, ingenuity, and determination. Training began immediately. Humans taught the Lurani how to coordinate defenses, how to use technology in new ways, and how to react under pressure. The Lurani learned quickly. Their minds were sharp, and their connection to Zytherian's environment gave them advantages humans could not fully understand. Meanwhile, sensors picked up the Kryvan fleet nearing Zytherian. The invaders were a terrifying species, heavily armed and relentless. Their ships were dark and jagged, with energy weapons capable of devastating entire cities. The Kryvans were not interested in negotiation. They sought conquest and control. As the humans and Lurani worked together, tensions grew. Some Lurani feared the humans might dominate their world. Others admired their bravery. Lyra herself felt conflicted. Humans were unpredictable, yet they were the only hope for survival. The first battle occurred at Zytherian's outer orbital perimeter. Humans deployed starships in intricate formations, using advanced strategies that Lurani had never imagined. Kryvan ships arrived in waves, their weapons striking with deadly precision. But the humans adapted quickly. Energy shields absorbed blasts. Mechs launched from orbit struck with incredible speed. Lyra watched from the control tower as humans and Lurani fought side by side. The sight was awe-inspiring. She had never imagined such courage and cooperation could exist. Humans were not just strong, they inspired others to rise to the occasion. Yet victory was not guaranteed. The Kryvans were cunning and ruthless. One of their ships breached the defense line and targeted the central city. Panic rose among the Lurani, but humans responded instantly. Captain Elias led a squadron to intercept the threat. Their tactics precise, almost surgical. With combined efforts, the ship was destroyed. Zytherian was safe for now, but the cost was evident. Human starships had taken damage, and Lurani defenses had been tested to their limits. After the battle, humans and Lurani gathered to assess the situation. Humans shared strategies, teaching the Lurani how to anticipate Kryvan attacks and adapt quickly. The Lurani realized that these humans were not only powerful, they were leaders, thinkers, and protectors. Commander Lyra felt a deep sense of relief. Zytherian had survived the first wave, but the war was far from over. She looked at the humans, their expressions calm but determined, and realized something remarkable. "They are not what we expected," she said to Elder Sira. "We asked for heroes. But Earth has sent us something greater. They bring hope, strength, and courage. And with them, Zytherian might survive." Elder Sira nodded slowly, a faint glow of pride in his eyes. "Perhaps our history has just begun, Commander. Perhaps we will learn from them and become stronger ourselves." Night fell on Zytherian, the twin moons casting silver light over the forests and cities. Humans patrolled the skies, their ships glinting under the stars, while Lurani prepared defenses and trained in new ways. The planet had seen fear, but it had also seen hope. In the distant darkness, the Kryvan fleet continued its approach. The invaders would not wait. They would strike with everything they had. But Zytherian now had more than hope, it had humans, a force that combined strength, intelligence, and heart. And for the first time in centuries, the Lurani felt that they might survive. The first part of the story closed with the quiet hum of human ships orbiting the planet, ready for the next wave of conflict. The Lurani and humans would face unimaginable challenges, but the bond that was forming would be Zytherian's greatest weapon. The stars over Zytherian were no longer silent. They had witnesses to the arrival of something extraordinary. Humans, sent not merely to fight, but to inspire a world to believe in courage beyond fear. The skies above Zytherian were alive, with light and motion. Hundreds of ships moved in intricate patterns, humans coordinating with the Lurani to defend the planet. The first wave of the Kryvan fleet had tested Zytherian's defenses, but the humans had shown the Lurani that courage and strategy could turn fear into strength. Captain Elias stood on the command deck of the starship Valor, his eyes scanning multiple holographic displays. Red dots indicated Kryvan ships, while green symbols marked human and Lurani forces. The invaders were relentless, approaching from multiple angles, but Elias's mind was sharp and steady. "Prepare all weapons," he ordered. "Focus on the outer wave. We need to hold them until the reinforcements arrive." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara, nodded. Shields at full power, Captain. Orbital defense cannons online. Mech squads ready. Below them, the Lurani city shimmered under protective energy fields that humans had helped deploy. The fields absorbed the initial blasts of Kryvan energy weapons, but the Council knew these shields were not infinite. Every second counted. The first clash came fast. Kryvan ships launched energy bolts that lit up the sky like artificial lightning. Human starships darted forward, firing synchronized volleys of plasma and ion beams. Mechs dropped from orbit onto nearby planes, their mechanical legs pounding the ground as they intercepted invading forces that had broken through the outer defenses. Lyra watched from the command tower, amazed. She had expected humans to fight. Yes, but not like this. They were precise, calculating, and fearless. Even when a Kryvan cruiser tore through one of the outer shields, a squad of human pilots intercepted it, using a combination of speed and clever maneuvers that left the Lurani in awe. The humans were not just warriors, they were leaders. They organized the Lurani, teaching them how to fight with unity instead of panic. Small Lurani strike teams learned to coordinate with human mechs and starships, creating a rhythm in battle that Kryvans could not predict. On the ground, Lurani scouts ran alongside human squads, energy blasters in hand. They learned to anticipate enemy movements. One Lurani scout, a young officer named Kale, marveled at the humans' tactics. They don't just fight, he whispered to his comrade. They think while fighting. They make us stronger, not weaker. Indeed, humans adapted quickly. When the Kryvans introduced a new weapon, a dark energy beam that drained shields instantly, humans devised a counter. Using their own ship's energy redirection technology, they reflected the beams back, turning the Kryvans' own weapons against them. The Lurani cheered as a Kryvan cruiser exploded in a brilliant flash of light. For the first time, they felt that victory was possible. Hope was no longer a dream. It was real. Yet, the battle was far from over. The Kryvans were cunning. They had studied Zytherian from afar and knew its weaknesses. A massive strike force broke through the outer defenses, targeting the central city directly. Captain Elias made a decision. Mara, deploy the strike teams to intercept. Lyra, we need your ground forces to hold key positions. We cannot allow them to reach the city center. Lyra nodded, relaying orders to the Lurani commanders. Together, humans and Lurani formed a cohesive front, blending their strengths. Human mechs provided raw power and technology, while Lurani scouts used knowledge of the terrain and quick movements to flank the enemy. The Kryvans pressed hard, and chaos filled the air. Explosions rocked the plains as energy bolts collided with shields. Human and Lurani squads fought bravely, often side by side. Kael saw human soldiers protecting Lurani civilians, throwing themselves into danger without hesitation. They are not just fighters, Kael said, voice trembling. They are heroes. Hours passed. Zythrian's defenses were tested to their limits. Some human ships were damaged, forcing pilots to make daring maneuvers to escape destruction. Lurani energy fields flickered under heavy fire. But thanks to humans' guidance, they held strong. In space, Elias noticed the Kryvan's central formation moving closer. They are concentrating their fleet, he said. If they break through, everything is lost. He called for an emergency strategy meeting aboard the Valor. Lurani leaders joined via hologram. We cannot let them reach the city, Elias said. We need to strike at the heart of their fleet, their central command ship. If it falls, the rest will scatter. The Lurani hesitated. No one had ever dared to strike deep into enemy territory. But Elias's confidence was contagious. Together, he continued, we can do this. Your knowledge of the planet and terrain, combined with our technology and strategy, will give us the advantage. We must act now. Lyra looked around at the other commanders. Fear was present, but determination was stronger. She nodded. We will follow your lead, Captain. Zytherian will survive. The next phase of battle began. Human strike teams, accompanied by Lurani units, launched a daring assault. Starships dived through the Kryvan formation, while ground teams infiltrated enemy positions on nearby moons and asteroids. The Lurani were amazed at humans' coordination and bravery. One human pilot, Lieutenant Soren, maneuvered his ship through a narrow gap in enemy defenses, firing precise blasts to clear a path for the ground team. Kale and his squad moved through the chaos, using energy shields to protect civilians and guide the humans through Zytharian's forests. As they approached the Kryvan command ship, the danger increased exponentially. Its shields were powerful, and energy turrets fired in all directions. But humans did not falter. Using calculated attacks and clever diversions, they weakened the defenses. Inside the command ship, humans and Lurani worked together to sabotage critical systems. The Lurani's understanding of energy flows complemented the humans' technical expertise. Together, they created a chain reaction that disrupted the Kryvans' coordination. Above Zytharion, the fleet noticed the change. Without the command ship's guidance, Kryvan ships began to falter. They fired erratically, crashed into each other, and retreated in confusion. Humans and Lurani pushed forward, striking decisively. The battle's climax came in a spectacular display of courage. Human mechs, piloted by elite teams, charged the remaining Kryvan forces, while starships provided cover from above. Lurani warriors fought with newfound confidence, inspired by humans' fearlessness and ingenuity. Finally, the central command ship was destroyed in a brilliant explosion that lit up Zytharian's skies. The remaining Kryvan fleet, leaderless and disoriented, fled into the darkness of space. Silence fell over Zytharian. The forests, plains, and cities were scarred, but alive. The humans had not only defended the planet, they had transformed it. The Lurani looked at them with awe and gratitude. Kale approached Captain Elias, eyes wide. You saved us. Not just with your weapons, but with your courage and leadership. You taught us to fight and to hope. Elias smiled gently. No, Kale. You all fought bravely. We only showed you what you were capable of. The true heroes are the ones who rise to protect their home, no matter the odds. Commander Lyra joined them, her usual calm demeanor softened by relief. Your presence changed everything, Captain. We feared the end, but now, we see a future. Together, we are stronger than we ever imagined. The humans began repairing Zytharian's defenses, teaching the Lurani how to strengthen their energy shields, repair damaged starships, and prepare for any future threats. The bond between the two civilizations grew stronger, built on trust, respect, and shared courage. Night fell once more, but this time it was peaceful. The twin moons reflected on the scars of battle, reminding everyone of what they had endured and what they could achieve together. Humans patrolled the skies, ensuring no enemy ships returned, while the Lurani began rebuilding, inspired by the heroes who had come from across the stars. Elias stood on a hill overlooking the city, watching the Lurani celebrate quietly. He thought of the battles yet to come, knowing the Kryvans would return, but he also knew something important. Strength alone was not enough. Courage, teamwork, and hope could change the course of any battle. For the first time in centuries, Zytharian's people felt they were not alone. They had allies, mentors, and protectors who showed them the meaning of true heroism. And as long as humans and Lurani fought together, no force in the galaxy could break their spirit. The stars above Zytharian shone brighter than ever. They had witnessed the clash of titans, the courage of humanity, and the beginning of a new era of unity and strength. The skies above Zytharian were quiet now, but the calm was only temporary. The Kryvans were defeated, yes, but Captain Elias knew their central command ship still existed somewhere in the void, and it could rally the remaining fleet if left unchecked. The final battle had not yet been won. We cannot let them recover, Elias said aboard the starship Valor, reviewing the latest scans. The command ship must be neutralized. This is our only chance to end the war. Lieutenant Mara looked at him, concern in her eyes. It's heavily guarded, Captain. Even a single mistake could cost us everything. Elias nodded, his jaw tight. I know. That's why we need a combined team. Humans, Lurani, working together. We've learned to fight together. Now we must strike together. On Zytharian's surface, Commander Lyra prepared the Lurani strike teams. Each warrior was trained and ready, their confidence tempered by experience. Young Kale, who had fought valiantly in the previous battles, stood among them. His energy blaster charged. Today, we fight not just for survival, Lyra said. Her voice calm but firm. We fight for our future, for the unity that humans have shown us. Let the Krivens see that courage and heart can overcome any force. The strike teams moved swiftly. Human pilots flew ahead in sleek starships, dodging residual Krivan patrols, while Lurani warriors took hidden routes on asteroids and small moons to approach the command ship from unexpected angles. Every move was calculated, every second mattered. Inside the command ship, the atmosphere was dark and oppressive. Krivan officers scurried through corridors, unaware of the approaching strike teams. Their technology was advanced, but it lacked the creativity and unpredictability that humans brought to battle. Elias led the main human team, landing on the command ship's surface via energy lifts. Lurani squads joined from hidden ports, their agility allowing them to bypass security systems. Together, they formed a striking force, capable of infiltrating the very heart of the enemy. KL followed Commander Lyra closely. I never imagined I would see a day when humans and Lurani fight side by side inside an enemy ship, he whispered. They are not just fighters, Lyra replied. They are teachers, showing us what true heroism means. The teams encountered resistance immediately. Krivan guards rushed forward, energy weapons blazing. Human soldiers used shields and advanced maneuvers, deflecting blasts while targeting critical systems. Lurani warriors struck from hidden angles, their knowledge of energy manipulation complementing human tactics. One human pilot, Lieutenant Soren, hacked into the Krivan ship's internal systems, redirecting energy flows to weaken the ship's defenses. Sparks flew as corridors lit up with blue and red energy. It was chaos, but the strike teams moved with precision, each step planned yet flexible. Kale witnessed humans protecting Lurani soldiers even when it meant risking themselves. One soldier threw himself across a young Lurani to shield them from an energy blast, his armor glowing from the impact. Kale felt a surge of respect and admiration. They are more than strong, Kale muttered. They are brave beyond measure. As they approached the command core, resistance intensified. Automated turrets activated, and Krivan officers attempted to override the strike team's progress. But humans had anticipated this. Using a combination of shields, coordinated attacks, and clever diversions, they neutralized threats systematically. Inside the core chamber, the central Krivan control unit hummed with dark energy. It pulsed like a heart, controlling the fleet remotely. Destroying it would collapse the enemy forces completely, but it was heavily protected by energy barriers and defense drones. Elias stepped forward, assessing the situation. We split into two teams, he ordered. Team Alpha will disable the shields. Team Beta will set charges to destroy the core. Timing is critical. Move quickly and stay together. Kale and his squad joined Team Alpha, using their understanding of energy flows to disrupt the shields. Sparks flew, and energy arcs crackled as they worked in tandem with humans. Shields flickered and weakened under combined efforts. Team Beta, led by Elias, moved into position to plant explosive charges on the core. Mara coordinated remotely, guiding them through the ship's complex corridors. Every second counted. If the Krivens regained control, the mission would fail. The final moments were tense. Energy surges shook the ship, alarms blared, and Krivan forces fought desperately to protect their command. Yet humans and Lurani did not falter. They moved as one, courage pushing them forward. Elias placed the last charge. Everyone clear? He asked. Nods came from every direction. He activated the timer. The core exploded in a controlled detonation. The entire ship trembled. energy cascading in waves. Outside, sensors detected Kryvan fleet communications collapsing, their ships, without guidance, scattered into the void. The battle was over. Scytherian was safe. Back on the planet, the Lurani watched the skies as the human fleet destroyed the last of the Kryvan attackers. Cheering erupted. For the first time in centuries, the people of Scytherian celebrated not just survival, but victory achieved through unity and courage. KL and Commander Lyra returned to the city, exhausted but triumphant. KL looked at the humans, seeing their calm determination, even after risking their lives. "They are not just warriors," he said softly. "They are heroes in every sense. They taught us that courage, intelligence, and heart can overcome even the greatest danger." Elias approached the council. "The threat is ended. But this is only the beginning," he said. "Scytherian is strong, and so are you. With training, unity, and trust, you can face any challenge. Humans did not fight for you alone. We fought with you, and you have shown the strength within yourselves." Lyra stepped forward. "We have learned more than fighting. We have learned leadership, courage, and hope. You did not just send forces to fight, we saw your spirit. And it has inspired all of Scytherian." Elder Sira's eyes glimmered with pride. "Humans came not only with power, but with guidance. You have changed our world, and perhaps changed our future forever." The days that followed were filled with rebuilding. Human engineers worked alongside Lurani scientists, repairing cities, strengthening defenses, and sharing technology. The bond between the two civilizations grew deeper. Rooted in trust and respect, Kale stood on a hill, watching human mechs repair damaged structures, and children of Scytherian practicing drills under human guidance. He realized something profound. Courage was not just about fighting, it was about inspiring others, showing them what they could achieve together. Humans prepared to return to their fleet, but not before leaving a lasting message. Elias addressed the Lurani, voice calm but firm. "Remember this. Heroism is not defined by strength alone. It is defined by heart, ingenuity, and unity. Scytherian has shown that when civilizations work together, no challenge is too great. You are the heroes of your own story, and we are proud to have fought alongside you." The human fleet departed, leaving Scytherian stronger than before. The Kryvans would not return for a long time, and the planet had learned the value of courage and unity. Kale turned to Commander Lyra. "We asked for heroes, and Earth sent more than that. They sent guidance, courage, and hope. They taught us to fight and to believe." Lyra nodded. "And we will carry their lessons forward. Scytherian will never forget this day." As the twin moons reflected on the repaired cities and the forests that had survived the battle, a new era dawned. Humans had come as protectors, yes, but they had also become mentors and friends. Scytherian's people would grow stronger, not because of weapons, but because they had learned the true meaning of heroism. The stars above twinkled like witnesses to history. They had seen humans, ordinary yet extraordinary, rise to meet impossible odds. They had seen courage inspire courage, and hope become reality. In the distance, children of Scytherian played in fields, once scarred by battle, unaware of the horrors that had passed, yet carrying the legacy of bravery and unity. Humans had shown that heroism could cross galaxies, that strength was meaningful only when used wisely, and that even the smallest hope could shine brighter than the fiercest weapon. The universe was vast, and dangers still existed. But Scytherian had learned a timeless lesson. Sometimes heroes come from afar, but their greatest gift is the courage they awaken in those they protect. And so, Scytherian looked to the stars with pride and hope, knowing that when darkness returned, its people would not be alone. Humans had come, and in doing so, they had left a legacy of courage, unity, and inspiration that would endure for generations.